Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of our Power Up. And I'm George Clemens. Welcome. I am the owner of True Blue Title, as well as an executive coach, sales coach. And I have All Your Effort, which is a program that we developed using EI and other uh, specific education, tactical, strategic things that we focus on internally to be excellent, the pursuit of excellence, right? That's what we're all striving for. So, what Follow Your Effort does, what I do is we're constantly trying to just help people out one person at a time with important information, proven tactics and methodologies that prove successful, right? They have a history and the data shows it that people who do certain things. And our job at All Your Effort, my job for myself is to constantly be analyzing and evaluating what successful people are doing and find those common denominators. Well, today we're going to talk about one of the biggest, most important foundations for success that some of the people do not take seriously enough, and that is goal setting. And when we talk about goal setting today, one of the biggest lies is that, oh, you have to do it at the beginning of the year. George, we're coming into the end of January, it's too late. That's a lie. It wouldn't matter to me if it was May 15th. The day you decide to set up a plan is the most important day because it's not constrained by time. Time is irrelevant. It's determined by where you're starting from and where we want to go. That's the most important thing. So let's talk about goal setting. How focused high performers earn more. And as we know, in everything in life, it's the little things, right? The little things make a difference. And if we know goal setting is the foundation for success, can you believe that only 15% of us actually write out our goals? Only 15%. And that number will feel bigger as we go through this because you're going to see the difference in those 15% that actually write their goals, their difference in performance. So let's just jump right in. All right, unfocused effort versus direction. So talent isn't enough to drive success, right? And we know that. We all know that. We know some talented individuals that haven't been able to achieve their maximum potential. So it's really about effort, right? It's really about following your effort and the effort is, oh, I can't go over that way, but the effort is what we can control, right? So without a destination, like we talked about, and it doesn't matter when you set that destination. If you don't have it, you're just going to be dealing with construction zones and dead ends. And so it's crucial to understand busy does not equate to effectiveness. Okay. And that's what we're going to go into more. I don't like people stay stuck. Okay. This is the reality of it. A lot of times, because you have a lack of planning, you're not able to handle when there's market changes, right? When there's certain things that you don't have control of. And uncertain market decisions, they lead to indecision, inaction, and frustration. And again, it's just that lack of preparedness, right? So it's churning them up. What if you had a plan, right? And you set your goals prior to the journey? Then one of the things you're going to analyze as you go through your plan, it's a strategic plan, it's a thorough plan, you're going to understand the threats and opportunities for your business. How to do competition, right? So you're going to have an idea of where to pivot, where to shift. So that's where a plan helps overcome these uncertainties. Hesitation, same thing. When you become uh, distracted, derailed, if you feel like you have defeat, well, your efforts, hesitation, go down to your production suffers. And again, you might have all the skills, but without consistent effort, disciplined, consistent efforts, your potential will remain untapped. Goal setting restores control and confidence. So Bottom line is if you have a plan, if you have goals, then you know what you're doing every day. You know what you're doing in the morning. You know what you're doing at lunch. You may even know what you're doing, for dinner. It's all planned. When are you going to work out? How are you going to nutrition yourself? What are your tasks for the day? Did I do my to-do list? Where am I at on my journey? 70% of individuals with defined goals feel more in control. Okay. And it's because they understand what they can control, and Potter positively influences your performance and consistency in achieving targets. So, question: do you have a strong handle on your activities, on your strategy, and on the efforts you need to make to navigate and get to your success? Efforts it's the anchor in uncertainty, right? So again, we're in a fluctuating market right now and an interesting economy. Um, External variables, they feel unpredictable, right? And and they can spin us off into different behaviors, reactions, that again, without having a plan, you're not able to apply your concerted effort towards what those goals are, towards what your controllables are. So again, make sure your efforts are controlled and you understand them and when you need to use them. Okay, so let's go to the data, right? I'm a big data fan, and bottom line is you have goals, you perform higher. So let's go into detail a little bit about that. So people with a plan, 10 times more likelihood of success. And for the written goals, as soon as you write them down, you have 4.2 times more likely to achieve it. Performance boost, specific goals. People are achieving higher percentages, 25, 35%. Let's go on to faster for companies that have goal setting, 12% faster revenue growth. And lastly, 76% of high performers are all found to have that plan not only in place, but work it consistently. Okay. So why goals work? They're primary primarily, this is what separates from having goals from not having goals. One is you have a filter, right? So again, how to prioritize your efforts. And then the other thing is don't overwhelm yourself with too many goals, right? Um, if you have one or two goals at a time, you attack it one at a time. It's not overwhelming. And give yourself time and patience. It takes getting in shape, honestly. Once you put in a plan, it's kind of like, okay, I gotta get in shape to execute on this plan. Um, and so, today, question for the day for you. What are one or two goals that you're focusing on today? Alignment of activities. You don't have a plan. You're just going out there, you're hitting the road, you're spinning the wheels, you're just doing client visits for the sake of doing client visits. Um, that's not going to help you. Your activities need to be specific to your goals. It's your strategy and again, your plan. And the alignment will make you much more effective and successful. So I always tell people like, think about your car, right? If it's not aligned, tired or aligned, you're shaking at brake, go brake in a lane, hit the person in front of you, you're going in the wrong lanes. Uh, be aligned. If you're not aligned, you're not going to have a smooth ride. Eliminating noise, again, that's what having the plan, the goals, strategy, that's what it does. It just knocks out the noise. You're able to stay focused. You're able to keep your eye on the prize, if you will. And then the better you are, right? The better you get at achieving these goals. What's going to happen is you're only going to get more micro focused, right? And like the next goal is going to be easier because you get the satisfaction. I mean, achieving goals is a very, very confidence boosting practice for everybody. So, how on task have you been this year, this month, this week? Good question. Are there activities you're doing on a daily basis? Are they building up to go somewhere that you want to be? Okay. So here's the top four questions that high performer, high earner asks. What are the immediate priorities today? What actions and decisions do you own, right? Have complete control over. What do you own? Are you breaking down those tasks into small actions? And are you staying accountable? And that's one of the, how are you staying accountable? That's one of the biggest tricks to everything that we strive for, needing discipline, accountability. Emotional intelligence. This is important little background for you. This is why do people quit their goals? Okay. Most people, they give up on it because they didn't really have a proper plan. It was ineffective. They didn't have a strategy. They didn't, the goals were too lofty and they didn't understand what they could control, et cetera. Emotional challenges, rejection, frustration, fatigue, doubt, those things will knock you on your butt. And this is real, right? These are real derailers, real issues that all of us have to deal with in the professional world. You have to understand, if you don't understand how your emotions impact your day, they're gonna knock you off track. So your progress is really gonna be diminished without that emotional intelligence, without understanding where you're going. Your plan may not be effective, right? So that emotional intelligence is crucial to success. And that emotional intelligence will help you understand, are you aware of what emotions derail you, right? And how they impact you. So emotional intelligence, these are the things you gotta have that mindset, something we work on very intensely at Follow Your Effort. So making the commitment, again, now's the time to take action. Again, write down your goals. You can do it right now if you're watching this. Your effort standards, right? We're going to understand what those are when you're doing your goals, accountability checks, um, and really micro breaking down into micro actions, the things that are going to take you to where you want to go. And again, it's not just the goals. We talked about this. It's that discipline and consistency to drive results. And remember, I can't reiterate this enough. If you are watching this right now and you do not have a plan in place, please, please, please start working on one right away. It will make a tremendous difference in your professional life. So again, I am George Fungus, owner of True Blue Title, also the executive coach, director, and founder of Follow Your Effort. It's an 8-step program. We will be doing a class, as you can see, um, right over here, with USF. So keep an eye out for that. Follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook for more insight and tools. And let's gonna keep working our tail off to help everybody have an impact on everybody for the positive. So follow your effort. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.